Welcome back, honey. Welcome to another episode of the Losing It podcast, where we explore transformational strategies for you to stop emotional eating, finally lose the damn weight, and have a healthier relationship with food. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Kylie Pax. I'm your emotional eating coach, and today we are going to be diving in to a really empowering concept. It's my favorite of all time to discuss, and it is one of my 5 eating codes. In fact, it's number 5. It's acting like the person that you want to become. Now, I have been in the self-transformative space for probably 35, 40 years now. I know it's a bit speaking now. I can't believe I've been alive that long, but honey, I have. Your girl's in her 50s. So I've been into this for a really long time. And it's one of my favorite things to talk about because we really do have full autonomy and control over our choices in life. And they, of course, these tiny little things that we think are so inconsequential. Should I, take the bus today or take the train? Should I eat that extra potato chip tonight or should I leave it? These are the things that actually over time start carving out our life and then what our destiny is going to look like. There's a version of you that you can reach, and it's your highest and best version. It's the version who does not turn to food every time she feels upset. It's the version of you who's not making fucking excuses, that's for sure. And when you start aligning your current choices with your deepest goals and desires, at that stage, it's really not even about pretending to be something or someone you're not. It's about shifting your self-concept to match the reality that you want to create. So for emotional eaters, this kind of concept can be a really big game changer because I've dealt with so many clients in my life, and most of them have been through different psychologists or psychiatrists in their life, and all of them have said to me that my 5 eating codes and using the blueprint has done wonders and worked a million times better than therapy for them ever could. I'm not dissing therapy. I've been to therapy myself in my life for when my marriage broke down and I tried it. It just didn't really work for me. I am still a believer in it. I think it's great, but I just didn't really find the right therapist for me. However, when you start integrating what you want, who you want to be with the eating codes that I share with you, which if you haven't got the free course yet, just either hit the link in the show notes or head on over to kyliepax.com/free course. You can get the 5 eating codes for free there. I break them down over 3 videos. They're really simple and really easy, and you can start changing your life and losing weight immediately. But when you do that and you start using the eating codes, you integrate them with my blueprint, you will immediately be forging a path forward to lasting change for your body, yes, but most importantly, for your mindset. Because I always say, if you woke up tomorrow, and you were thin, but you had no idea how you got there or what you actually did to make that happen, you would have 0 chance of maintaining it or keeping that thin body. That is why the journey, as much as we friggin' hate it, is so important, because it's where you are carving out these new habits that are going to set the stage for longevity in your life. So let's go through my eating codes just like we did in the last episode, but I'm going to sort of twist them today so that we can use each eating code to not only better the choices that you're making each day, but help you stop emotional eating and make in simultaneously at the same time, start making better food choices as well. And can I just say, better food choices doesn't mean eating whole foods like some kind of fucking worm outside. No, baby, we're not little worms or chipmunks or whatever the fuck eats whole foods. You can eat whole foods if you like. I enjoy them. I'm very much into the whole foods. I think it's fantabulous. But your girl also likes a good bag of M&Ms. I'm not partial to eating Brussels sprouts all the time. I don't like eating them any of the time. But I love me some M&Ms. I love hot chips. I mean, for me to list off my favorite junk foods, we could sit here all day exchanging, because I know you've got a long list too. And quite frankly, I'm not prepared to give them up, nor do you have to give them up in order to lose weight. That's what's so transformative about my blueprint. So let's talk first about eating code number 1, which is, what is fucking eating code number 1? Eat when you're hungry and don't eat when you're not. Now, in order for you to fully carry this code out, you're going to have some awareness around your own patterns. What I mean by that is you're going to have to start paying attention and recognizing your own bullshit that you're selling yourself, because a lot of the time we are shoving food in our mouth without thinking about it, without paying attention to it. Some of us blackout eat. Believe me, it is a thing. You realize you're eating before you even realize it, because your headspace, your mind, your thoughts are so far away in whatever problem is whizzing around in your brain, you don't even realize that you're eating. But there is always a point where you come to realize, fuck, I've got a handful of corn chips. I really need to put them down. And at that point, you're then thinking, oh shit, I've already stuffed it up. I might as well keep going. But that is the point. That's your breaking point. That's your decision point. Do you keep going or do you stop? So eating code number 1, eat when you're hungry and don't eat when you're not. I want you to start noticing when emotions are driving you towards food, because this awareness is going to be the first step in your transformation this year. I mean, I say this year, we're already a good quarter of the way through. But it's not too late, honey. There are still more days left on the calendar than there is that has passed. So that means there is all the time in the fucking world. Now, the second eating code is follow your plan and not your mood. That means if you've got my blueprint or you're already in the blueprint, we have a daily planner and a daily journal. Now, so we use the planner each day to make sure that we plan out breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and then we train ourselves basically. It sounds a bit like we're training a dog, but we really are training our thought processes, our mind and our prefrontal cortex to create some new habits that it can send back to the habit brain at the back, the subcortex, and it can then create new ways for you to just naturally be and do and behave. When you start accepting where you are without self-judgment, then every step or even misstep just becomes part of your journey. It doesn't become another reason to beat yourself up. It doesn't become another excuse to binge. It just becomes, the acceptance becomes part of the journey and a learning process. That is what is so critical and crucial about this. So if you've got my journal, I would love for you to make sure that you're using that every day. If you don't have it yet, then if you're not in the blueprint yet, then there is a simplified version inside of the free course. So just hit the link in the show notes or kyliepax.com/free course. Now, third eating code. This is where we come into alignment. The third eating code is to stop eating at 80% full. Babe, you need to align your daily actions with the behaviors of the version of you that you want to be, not who you are right now. What would that look like in real time? It would look like you choosing nourishing foods or engaging in really harmonious and supporting activities, practicing self-care. If you're a girly that loves her nails and her facials, go do that shit. If you're a girly who loves her sports, go do that shit. You've got to do whatever it is that lights up your soul and makes you feel like you, the bigger you, actually gives a shit about yourself. Treat yourself like you matter. It's not all about everybody else and everyone else in your life but you. That is you having your priorities like ass up. What do they say? It's totally backwards and upside down and back to front. You should be first, not first in a selfish way, but first in the way of when I'm taken care of, I'm in a much better position to take care of everybody else. Because the fourth eating code really aligns with action. The fourth eating code is to follow your plan and not your mood. No, that is not it at all. Fourth eating code is, your feelings don't get to vote. What this one tackles is the emotional eating. We've made our plan for the day. We made it back at eating code number 2, where we follow our plan, not our mood. The fourth eating code is to not let your feelings vote. That means you're going to commit to taking the action. Committing to consistent actions that sort of reinforce this new identity that you want to be, this version of you that you want to step into, changes your self-concept. Remember, change is a process. It's going to take the consistency that you right now are lacking. That's why you're not there yet. It's not that you can't do these things. It's that you can do them and periodically you do them. You're just not doing them consistently. So that then rolls into the fifth eating code, which is, of course, my baby, act like the person you want to become. This one really aligns with affirmation. So I want you to start using positive affirmations to very much solidify your new self-concept into your mind. Whether for you that means NSR work, tapping, somatic exercises, yoga, Pilates, whatever it looks like, for you to remind yourself daily of how strong and resilient and capable you are. You have the capacity to do these things. And just FYI, acting as if is not you faking it. I'm not talking about fake it till you make it. I'm talking about you stepping into your power and creating the reality that you desire faster than it would ever take by you doing exactly like what I did and spending 30 years wandering around in the wilderness looking for a shortcut. Honey, Discipline isn't your problem. Avoidance is. You've spent so long avoiding doing the things that you know you need to do that you have now got a wild track record behind you that your brain is simply struggling to catch up with. It's telling you all day, every day, but this is who we are. We're people that cut corners. We're people who can't stick with things. I'm someone who, just has all the excuses in the world. But that was never true. That was some poor choices that you've made in the past. Not who you are. It was a choice. It's not a who. It was a what. So you now have the ability to change that entirely. And it's all going to start with what we went through today, the 5 eating codes, which of course are, number 1 is to eat when you're hungry and don't eat when you're not. That covers awareness. Number 2 is to follow your plan and not your mood, which covers acceptance of what you need to do. Eating code number 3 is, of course, stop eating at 80% full, your magical weight loss code. That needs you to align with your goals. Eating code number 4 is that your feelings don't get to vote, which means you're now going to need to take action. Everything else, you're kind of a little bit cruisy, but now it's where you need to step into action. And then eating code number 5, which is act like the person you want to become. This is where you really need to affirm to yourself through actions and choices that you are who you damn well say you are. And there is nothing and no one, certainly no piece of chocolate cake in the world, that can tempt you away from what you know you're capable of being. So my darlings, thank you again for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, useful, or even mildly entertaining, please hit subscribe and share with others. And remember, if you want to come and join us inside of the Bombshell Blueprint, just hit the link in the show notes or join us at kyliepax.com/blueprint. I am sending you all tremendous amounts of love. Remember, be kind to yourself, embrace the journey. I will see you next week. Until then, gorgeous ones, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to kyliepax.com and join me inside of the Bombshell Blueprint so you can stop emotional eating and start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources inside my past podcasts that will help you lose your weight without losing your sanity. I will see you next week.